Welcome to Adam's Retro Rewind. I'm Adam, and yes, I'm a geek. Feels a bit like confessing at an AA meeting, but nowadays being a geek is practically normal. And if you're not, well, I think you're missing out. I'm an 80s kid, which means I grew up on Saturday morning cartoons, trading comics and cards with my friends, and living for all the small joys that made being a kid amazing. On this channel, we're diving into the nostalgia, history, and sheer fun of your favourite comic book characters, cartoon heroes, and everything in between. From classic cartoons and computer games to hidden lore and Easter eggs you might not even know existed. We'll explore it all. Sometimes with some bad jokes, sometimes with geeky deep dives, and always with a whole lot of fun. And speaking of Saturday mornings, let's take a little trip back to when they actually meant something. Before streaming, YouTube and endless scrollings, Saturday mornings were sacred. They were a kid's personal festival of sugar, cartoons and chaos. The tradition really kicked off in the early 1960s, when networks realised that if they gave kids a few hours of dedicated animated programming, they could capture their attention and their parents' wallets. Shows like The Bugs Bunny Show and The Flintstones laid the groundwork for what would become a Saturday ritual. These were cartoons that weren't just for kids. They were entertaining enough that the whole family could sit down and watch, which in the 1960s was a massive deal. By the 1980s and 1990s, the golden era for many of us, Saturday mornings had exploded. Every network had its lineup of heroes, villains, talking animals, and wacky sidekicks. It wasn't just about the cartoons anymore, it was about the whole experience. He-Man, Transformers, Thundercats, G.I. Joe, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles weren't just shows, they were a lifestyle. Action figures, trading cards, comic books, they all tied into this world that felt a little bit bigger than your living room. The 80s also saw the rise of shows directly tied to toy lines. Yes, that's right, cartoons were basically 30-minute commercials. But here's the thing, they worked, as we all know. They worked because the stories were fun, the characters were larger than life, and the animation, while sometimes questionable, had a charm that just drew you in. You could watch a robot battle an alien on 1 minute and laugh at a wacky bumbling villain the next. And somehow, it all made perfect sense in the universe of Saturday mornings. If you love this trip down memory lane, don't forget to hit follow so you never miss an episode. Also, like, share and subscribe to join our retro crew, because whether it's cartoons, comics or classic games, we're keeping the nostalgia alive one Saturday morning at a time. And hey, tell a friend. After all, the more the geekier. And let's not forget the classics that weren't just toys. They were weird, wild and wonderful. DuckTales, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, Inspector Gadget and the Real Ghostbusters brought adventure, comedy and a little bit of spooky fun into our homes. These shows weren't just about entertainment, they shaped the imagination of an entire generation. Who here doesn't remember humming the DuckTales theme song on a Monday morning, trying to make sense of all the adventure you'd just watched? Saturday mornings weren't just about cartoons though. They were a cultural phenomenon. Networks competed fiercely for viewers, meaning each show was packed with memorable catchphrases, unforgettable theme songs, and sometimes life lessons hiding under the guise of talking animals or superheroes in spandex. And for those of us who were trading comic books and cards at recess, these shows were like a secret language. You didn't just watch them, you lived them, breathed them, and debated them with all of your friends like it was a sport. But perhaps the best part of Saturday mornings was that sense of ritual. There was something magical about waking up early, grabbing your cereal, and knowing for the next few hours the world of cartoon was yours and yours alone. There was no phones, no notifications, no stress, just pure, unadulterated nostalgia and joy. And that, my friend, is the world we're diving into here on Adam's Retro Rewind. We're going to celebrate the shows, the heroes, the villains, the games, the comics, and the quirky little moments that made Saturday mornings legendary. Whether you're here for nostalgia, trivia, or just to see a grown man geek out over cartoons, you're in the right place. So buckle up, grab your cereal, or action figure, or comic, or whatever you've got laying around, and let's rewind to the best parts of our childhood, starting with Saturday morning shows that defined a generation. And over the next few Saturday mornings, 9 AM UK time, we'll be diving into even deeper into some of the shows that defined our childhoods. First up, we're going to explore the heroes in the half shell themselves, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, a personal favourite of mine. We'll be breaking down their characters, their origins, the lore you may have missed as a kid, and even some of the wildest stories behind the comics and cartoons that made Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael legends in their own rights. So if you thought Saturday mornings were just about cartoons and cereal, think again. We're going to uncover the magic, the mischief, and the nostalgia one show at a time. So grab your pizza, dust off your old action figures, and join me here on Adam's Retro Rewind, because it's time to rewind, relive, and geek out.